Unbelievable. Fulani herdsmen just disappeared into thin air. Joy Bukwe speaks on what is going on with the Fulani herdsmen. I'm glad it's Joy Bukwe that is speaking in this regards because he's an APC chieftain, one person who, a very APC man. Yeah, very APC man. And when you look at it, you understand where we are at as a country and as a people because we remember very cleverly how the Fulani herdsmen, became a real menace and a real trouble and problem for the nation. So much so that Nigerians began to wail, and Nigerians were unbelievably asking, where do we go from here? How did we get here? What's going on? And things in those lights and in those regards began to flood the internet and all that, what have you. Thank God for the southern, governors who now said, you know what, enough is enough. We want, ban on Fulani herdsmen and their activity. And at the end of the day, we are a happy and a better people. All of a sudden, Fulani herdsmen have gone into thin air. Okay, so this is part of what is happening. And Joe is wondering, what happened to all the Fulani herdsmen? How come they disappeared into thin air? What's going on? How did this happen? Joe, I think you need to ask your Buhari, okay, and all your APC chieftains. And thanks to God Almighty, and especially, Sunday Igboho, the southern governors for putting the law. Fulani herdsmen just disappeared into thin air. Joe Ibukwe react as talk about herdsmen reduce. Joe Ibukwe, an APC chieftain and special advisor on drainage and water resource in Lagos, has taken to his official Facebook page to raise questions concerning the issues of Fulani herdsmen. The APC chieftain on his Facebook page said, suddenly, no one is talking about Fulani herdsmen again. What happened? They just disappeared into the thin air. These very Fulani herdsmen caused a lot of problem in the south until the southern governors began to meet and have meetings and says they must put a ban on open grazing. This drastically reduced the Fulani herdsmen activities, especially in states where this ban has been instigated. The issue of Fulani herdsmen is one of the major security problems that plunged the Buhari's administration. But it looks like people no longer talk about them much recently. Joe Ibukwe is wondering what suddenly happened. No talk about them. Joe, are you in the dreamland? Which of the land? Google or Gaga? Don't you know that they've put a ban on open grazing? And some of the state governors have implemented system, especially in the southwest, to ensure that these things are looked after and the whole process is followed through. Joy Bukwe said, this guy here. Joy Bukwe is wondering why suddenly people no longer talk about them. He also asks if suddenly the Fulani herdsmen have disappeared and where have they disappeared to. Joy is wondering if this Fulani herdsmen disappearance is from Nigeria or they are trying to gather momentum and attack. The issue of insecurity is a major challenge, and Fulani herdsmen happen to be the center of how this was skyrocketing, especially in the southern states, until the southern governors put a place and a law saying no more open grazing, which drastically reduced their movement and took them some back to their states. They are only predominantly in northern states and states like Kwara, Kogi, and southern states where the governors have not deemed it fit in any way to put in a ban on open grazing. Like Imo State, Cross River State, they said there is no need, that there is no ban on open grazing. And although the people will not speak, they can't go to their farms. These are some of the things that they've come to see. It's like living under a siege, and these have impoverished the people in no small way, which will in turn, with time, if there's no check, could lead to food shortage, because actions began reactions. And that's why we need to be careful. When the southern governors initially said we're going to put a ban on open grazing, you need to see northern governors rising up to the occasion as though they are the ones going through the problem. The same northern governors that will not speak when all this evil is going on. The same people we are standing up to defend as though The South and Fulani herdsmen have not been living in peace prior to this time. It shows the bias, in some people's hearts with regards to true dispensation of protection of lives and property. The man will call the president of the country does not have any iota of people-persons relationship. A man who only time he related with Nigerians was during his election, and after that he forgot about the people totally, completely. And now the same person, is now the very person, or who is now silent and cannot speak to Nigerians. So when you look at it, these are some of the things ongoing. Nigerians are watching, and Nigerians are wondering, what next? Okay, what next? So this is what is happening right now at the moment. And if we don't rise up, and defend ourselves, nobody will do it for us. No one will do it for us. If we don't rise up to the occasion and say enough is enough, no one will do it for us. We've come a long way, and a lot of things are happening. You see, the position of truth cannot be eroded. Look at what Buhari has done. A man came in under 7 years. We are spending close to 90% of the nation's resources in servicing of loans. And yet this man wants to still continue to be Nigerian's president, and nobody's saying anything. In fact, people are quiet and watching these things happening. Thank God for the southern governors who said enough is enough. Thank God that they came together and they were able to work in synergy, in alignment, to say, let us put a ban on open grazing, which has really yielded a lot of effort, and you can see that Joe can point out to the fact that the so-called Fulani herdsmen are becoming a thing of the past. I mean, they are still there, don't get me wrong, but it's not like before where they roam free and you hear today they are doing this today. Because where there is no law, you see, there is no sin. Where there is no law, nobody has broken any law, there is no offense. It's when there is a law against something, that's when the law is broken, it becomes an offense. Until then, there's no iota of offense in any of those regions or any of those way being talked about. So Joe is wondering, he said, what happened? How did it happen that all of a sudden these guys has vanished into thin air? Joe, welcome to your widest dream and imagination. So my wonderful people, these are some of the things going on. We will keep you up to speed as the matter unfolds. Remember, you have a voice. Please don't forget to like us, share, subscribe. Let's condemn wrongdoings and everything and anything that will keep us as a nation back and behind. We must move forward and we must make progress. God bless. Bye for now.